YouTube, what's going on? Consumer Reviews and DIYs here, back with another video. Today we're going to be changing out the rear air strut on a BMW 7 Series. This is the G11 G12, and as you can see, the back is sagging, and on the front it's weird because the front is actually looks to be sagging as well. So it almost looks like the whole car is leaning. And when I go over to the passenger side, as you can see, the passenger side front has a gap like it's supposed to. And also when you look at the back, the gap is there like it's supposed to. So I went through a few different steps to diagnose it. The real, I guess you can say, determinant was jacking the car up and then hearing air coming from the rear. And so seen some videos on YouTube. Shout out to those that have already attempted this job. And it was one gentleman, I might leave his channel in the description. He recommended going through the speaker on either side, whichever one you need to replace, removing the speaker, cutting through the insulation, and then accessing the three nuts that hold in the strut. So what I did is I got a trim tool, because this is on pretty tight. Now there are no bolts that is holding this down. It's all clips. All right, so I went ahead and found a trim tool. You know, it wasn't too bad. I did have to apply a little bit of force because I wanted to take a look at it. I was looking for the easiest way to do this job. Wasn't really looking at, didn't really want to take out the back seats and everything. So once I got this up, I was able to gain access to the speaker. So again, you just pry this up in order to see the speaker. And I just didn't like the positioning of it in the seat. It still was really tight, and I really wanted to have the seat out of the way, which would give me personally more room, more flexibility, or those nuts that's holding the strut in. So once I seen the speaker, I decided to just go ahead and, do it the hard way or the long way. So I started off just removing the seats. And so the bottom seats, they're held in. There are no bolts that you need to take out. You really just need to pull on it pretty hard, and it'll pop up on both sides. So getting the seat out, the bottom part of the seat is not a bad job. It does help if you, perhaps have someone pulling on the other side. But once you get it up, you do need to be careful. Don't just yank it. Yeah, because there will be a wire that is connected to this module right here that you'll find under the seat. So once you undo that side, there's another one of these modules on the other side as well. Once you undo both of those, you are free to take the bottom part of the seat out and just go ahead and toss it on the side. And then I begin to work on the top seat. Now the top seat, there are some plastic nuts that do need to come off as well. It's this seat belt, and that is the middle seat belt. You don't have to worry about the side seat belts whenever you're taking it off, but this is what I'm talking about. What you just seen are those little plastic nuts that you need to take off. There are also going to be some metal ones as well. There's going to be one on each side of the seat, so those two, and then there's going to be two in the center console. When you take the center console down, you're going to remove those two as well. Now the harness, this is what I'm showing right here, coming out from the top seat. You're going to have to undo that as well. How I did it is I just took a video just to make sure I hooked them in right. And these, I already took them out in this frame, are the two that you got to take out to get the top part of the seat out. And once you do, you're on your way. Now I did take a shortcut, which I'll explain later on in the video. And I did forget to mention that the back seat is held on through these hooks, so you're actually going to have to lift up on that back part and bring it forward, because they do sit on three of these little, it's almost like they sit on hinges. So if you just try to pull it forward towards you, it's not going to come out. You're going to have to lift up on it and bring it off of those hinges. All right, so starting with the trim, just get you a tool like this so you don't scratch it up. And so once I popped this up, there were a few different T screws that you had to take out. Not too bad though for this. So I think it's 4 total, 1, 2, 3, and then a fourth one. And then you'll use like some type of pry tool if you can't get into it with the plastic one, to get the little base that those T screws fit into. All right, so once you get those up, that part will come straight off. then you need to go ahead and start working on this part. So you have, again, these little plastic nuts that you're going to take off. And this is the seat belt. You can, again, leave both seat belts on. Just the middle one is the only one that I took up. And as you keep going, you'll start to see it. They all kind of, the parts kind of fit together like Legos. You'll start to see where they are connected as well. So as long as you start from that bottom and work your way up, you'll be able to get these off. Just pay attention to your connections. Now, I thought I was going to get over with just taking out just the driver side rear that the strut was leaking on, but you can't take out the top part there without taking out both sides. So that was a bummer, but I just went ahead, same steps, just take off the paneling, and then you'll be able to get this off here. So again, there were two like plastic looking nuts and then two like push grommets. You just need a pick tool to get them off. Not a pick tool, I'm sorry, a pry tool to get them off. Once you get this off, you're in a good space. And this is where I took the shortcut. I did not want to take the visor off. I did not want to take the other paneling off. So what I ended up doing, so this part didn't want to take off. Again, was trying to minimize the steps that I had to take to actually gain access to the strut. So my shortcut was, because it's right under here, so you gain access right there. That is where the 3 nuts are that hold on the strut. So I just actually cut a door in the insulation and just kind of peeled it back. And so that way, if somebody comes behind me, or if for some reason, if I have the car for an extended amount of time, I can just access that door and just replace the strut again. So this is the door that I made. And so afterwards, I just, folded the door back over. But here you're able to gain access to those nuts. So again, it saved me a little bit of time. Ultimately, I did, went ahead and took the back seats out. But I think that this is a pretty good solution. You guys let me know what you think about this semi shortcut in the comment section. So once you get the 3 nuts loose, you can go ahead and take your air connections out. Now, I did have to end up removing this inner fender well as well. But then when it comes to the connections, you don't have to really worry about mixing them up. As you can see, the orientation kind of point to the connection port that each one needs to go to. So I took these 2 off, and then also removed the wire that fits into the strut there as well. There is that one bolt towards the back that is a massive bolt. It's hard to get to. I did end up taking off. I wasted a lot of time trying to get to it without removing this shield right here. So I took off that shield, and then I removed this suspension part here. I'm not sure exactly what it's called, but I did remove that as well by loosening up this nut here a little bit. Didn't have to loosen it up much, and then I took that nut there all the way out and just let that come to the ground, just fell to the ground, and then gave me the space, because it's a really cramped space to get down on that one bolt that holds the strut in. Now when it comes to the airline, you can get a wrench. I think it was like maybe a 8 or a 10. Now there was a challenge lining the strut back up to the frame that the bolt needs to go into, and I would recommend just having 2 people to try to do that. The way I did it is I really leaned all of my weight on the brake rotor, and that pushed the assembly down, because the assembly does move up and down, and was able to get the strut in that way. So having 2 people, having another person with the bolt in hand, so as you're pushing it down, and once you do get it lined up, they can actually put the bolt in and go ahead and start it for you. I recommend purchasing a used strut if possible. That's going to be BMW branded. I didn't want to replace it with an aftermarket one. There are a ton of aftermarket ones out here on eBay, and that's the source that I look for in my air strut. But I was able to find quite a couple that came off of BMWs that may have been in accidents, but the car had low miles, 40,000, 50,000. For a fraction of the price. As you can see, 300, 400, I'll go ahead and get you back up and running. And so I think that's a better option than going with a cheaper aftermarket that you don't really know where it's coming from, or if the internal parts are going to be quality. You guys let me know what you think in the comment section. Make sure you like the videos, comment, and consider subscribing, and I'll catch you on the next one.